just sit there, bask in the euphoria. Thank you so much, Canadian Film Festival! Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Canadian Film Fest Q&A of the evening. I'm Bern Euler. I'm the festival director. Over here, maybe, Ashley?
Hi, I'm Ashley Rains. I'm co-programmer for the Canadian Film Fest.
Thanks. I always get Ashley to introduce herself first because I can never remember her name, but she does help out a lot. So, you know, she's worth mentioning. And then, of course, we have our crew from Age of Dysphoria, the short film that opened up our screening tonight. Welcome, everybody. Jessica, Brad, Laura, in no particular order, of course. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Wonderful movie, an absolutely beautiful movie. I have so many questions. I know Ashley does too. We'll also be fielding some from out in internet land, but I think I would like to just start with the story, and then we can talk about all the logistics, what goes into making a movie and all that. But the story at the heart of it, this is why I love film so much, is I love being taken away by a story, and especially I love when a story gives me something I didn't expect I wanted, but what I needed the whole time. So Laura, you came up with the story, didn't you?
Yes. I mean, Zoe did a lot of the work. She wrote the whole script, obviously, but the concept and what I wanted to tell was sort of formed by myself and with Jessica and Zoe. And it's a story I've been wanting to tell for a while, and I've been toying with it for years in my head. And it wasn't until, you know, Jessica and I were together on set that I was like, now's the time. I gotta pitch it. So, and she loved the idea and thankfully agreed to direct and executive produce.
That's so cool, because when it comes to the story, especially, is the ending. The ending was so powerful for me because I didn't realize that's what both of the characters needed. And so how did you come to, because I mean, did you know that was going to be the ending right when you first started thinking up the story, or was that part of the creative process, and did you eventually get there?
Jessica, you can chime in at any point, but I know that I didn't know where it was going to go until we really got down to the nitty gritty of the script, and we toyed with a couple of ways to end it. I think we all just felt that was the best way to give them both closure, and it's not always exactly the closure you're looking for, but in a way it's what you end up needing in the end.
Yeah, I think that was the big thing, you know, in the amends making process. I think it's something that you do kind of, you learn, like, you're not always going to, you know, the forgiveness is not always going to come the way that you think it's going to come. So I think that, you know, and endings are hard, and short film endings are hard. So I think we really did want to take the audience on a journey and see closure for both of them. And this was a way that we were able to achieve that with Laura's fantastic, wonderful performance, and Gordon Pinsent, of course, who we were so lucky to have in our film as well.
And
Go ahead, Laura. Yeah.
I think one of the things we did realize, and we want the audience to realize, is her need for his forgiveness is a really selfish thing on her behalf. So she had to learn the lesson that she was never going to get the forgiveness she needed. She could only give him the gift of being whom he thought she was for that moment in time. And we left it to the audience to decide, how long does this go on for in the future? Is this the last time they see each other, or does she continue to play this game?
So yeah, and I really took it to that character, because she finally gave something, she could start her healing process. Because to me, she wasn't there at all, and she was going to relapse, and she was going to get back into it, and that to me was the most beautiful part of that story. Really, really touched me. And then with that story in mind, so I found it to have a really cool, not crazy gritty, but very realistic look and feel to it. So was that a team thing? Jessica, was that all you? How does that work?
Well, I think, I really wanted to have that really gritty, drama look. And our DP, Eric Kayla, is amazing. And when he came on board, we really collaborated. And I was so fortunate to work with him because it really was, when you have that creative team, it's like a dream come true. So, doing a car crash, being able to achieve those things on a short film too, we're so fortunate to have so many people support us, and the to have access to a stunt team. Laura and I actually were working on V Wars when she came to me with the idea. So it was really great because we were able to really come off of a television show and had a lot of good favor, fortunately, from a lot of crew in Toronto who said, yeah, where do you want us to be? Let's do this. So, and of course, the night we did the car crash, it rained. So we were like, yes, free wet down, all the fun things that you get excited about when you're, a director on a budget.
And I love, on that note, Jessica, I love what you said, Laura, about you had an idea for this story in this film, and then you pitched Jessica on set. So you were already working together. What does it mean to you to forge those relationships and then move from working in television to short films in the context of your career and creating together?
Well, we met. I'll take that too, because we actually all met on Bitten. Going back to Bitten, because Brad directed the pilot of Bitten, and I was a consultant on it, and of course, Laura was the star. So it was such an amazing opportunity for us. I mean, we've known each other for years now, and I think that's the thing that we find in this filmmaking process is you find your people. And like, we've always stayed close, and we've always, whether we're in LA or Toronto, we're always like getting together saying like, we got to do something, so yeah, I think.
And I'm constantly trying to pitch things to Jessica still, so
I love it.
Great.
just like Jessica said, like
I had no idea this would come out of this.
Yeah.
and this was my first time, having something that began in my head, and to see it on a TV screen tonight. Thank you, Cannes Film Fest and Super Channel. Like, dream come true. I can't even believe the process people go through to make huge series and movies on television. I mean, we did ours in 9 months. It was a lot of work, especially for Jessica and Brad, and just to see it tonight on the screen is incredible. And I knew I wanted to go to them with this idea because, like Jessica said, they're good people and they know what they're doing and they're incredibly talented. And I only want to work with people who have the same intentions and heart and creative desire that I do, and who get what I'm trying to do. And we got really lucky.
I love hearing that. I know we hear that a lot from a lot of crews that, like you said, Jessica, you said, you find your people, and you do, right? And then you stick with them, and you can go on your own creative endeavors, have some fun, but you're always with that same group. And that really helps the creative process when you, right, Laura, when you have an idea like this and you feel comfortable going to somebody who is gonna tear the idea apart in some ways, but you're true to the project, not to your ego, and you're able to come to Jessica with something like that, right? So was that nerve-wracking in the first place going to her, or how was that?
If she said no, I would have just gotten on the floor and begged her to direct it, to be honest. There wasn't anyone else I wanted to do this or to be on this journey with. And I wasn't nervous. I think, like I said, I pitched it to her on set. We kind of found we were shooting a scene that was very male dominant, and Jessica was there, and I was like, now's the time. And when they were setting up, I cornered her and we talked about it, and then we went to coffee. But Jessica's such a loving person that even if she hated it, she would have put me down nicely. So luckily it wasn't an issue. There were no nerves involved, and she loved it. So.
And that's also one of the marks of being a professional, is you're ready for the disappointment, but you still go for it, right?
Oh yeah, rejection every day.
I mean,
all the time.
A lot of times when people pitch you something, and like, you talk about it, and it's like the whole like, let's go, when we get back to LA, well, let's get together, and nothing ever comes of it. But I have to say, like, hands down, Laura has been like one of the best creative partners to work with. I mean, literally, we have been doing this as a team, like from day one. And
Harassing each other.
it has been like, it's been such a good partnership. I really look forward to working together again.
So on that note, what are you guys working on next?
Yes. We want more.
What are we working on?
We have been kicking things around. We are trying to figure out something that we can do.
I'm actually currently trying to find a writer for something. Once I get it written, I'm shooting it to Jess. So
yes.
Very
So
cool.
this is your call for submissions then, right
Yeah.
now.
on spec, please. Anybody's available. Female comedy.
Female comedy. Come on, let's go.
Well, I guess you guys can pull a team together pretty nicely. I mean, you got Gordon Pinsent in it. Laura, did you have a little bit to do with that?
Yeah, in a way. Gordon has been my role model since I was 12 when I started out acting. And he is a relative of mine, the only person I knew in this business. So my grandmother connected me with him. We were pen pals. And he came to my first day on set on Goosebumps and told me how to behave and how to be professional. And
That's so sweet.
yeah, since that day on set at the age of 12, I've wanted to work with him. It took me this long, I won't say how long because you'll know my age, although I'm sure you can figure that out, to finally say I'm not waiting for the universe to put us together. I want to do this myself. I can't wait any longer. And so that's sort of where the whole like concept came from. And luckily we sent him the script and he said yes, which blew my mind. The fact that he was willing to do it.
That's amazing because you guys had an amazing chemistry going on there. And I was constantly drawn to who's grabbing what at a who. Do you know what I mean? Like you'd be saying something and then I'm like, how's he going to react to that? And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, wait, I mean, how's she going to react to that? And that was just a pleasure to watch. That was so cool. So yeah, good on all of you. That was an absolutely beautiful film.
And also congratulations to your team. One of the themes.
Oh no.
Is Ashley gone, or she might just
and the refusal to take no and not waiting, and that really kind of captures the indie filmmaking spirit. So congratulations to you all on an exceptional short film.
Thank you. I also just want to make sure to give a shout out to our incredible producers at Film Coop.
Yes.
You know, Emily, Jen, Laura were amazing, and also Deluxe in Toronto just really like pulled out all the stops to help us and worked with us, and it was such a great, amazing creative journey.
Well, and sorry.
Absolutely.
Also thank our Indiegogo
yes.
who we couldn't have done post without. So thank you guys.
No problem. Now, listen, I want to thank you from Ashley and I both, and everybody at the CFF team. Thank you so much for bringing your film to us. An absolute pleasure to program that in tonight's screening. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to say goodbye. You guys don't leave yet. I'm going to say goodbye to just the audience out there. But audience in internet land there, don't go away. We're going to be right back with the filmmakers from the short Swimmers. So stick around. Bye.
Bye now.
Hi, everybody. We're back already, and we're back here with the short film filmmakers casting crew of Swimmers. Thank you very much for being here, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Great show. Chris, good to see you back.
Well, it's my pleasure to be back. Thank you.
Rob. And of course, I'm here as always with Ashley Rains, my co-programmer. Ashley.
Hi, everyone. Swimmers team, can you introduce yourself to the audience watching?
Yes. Hi,
Karen.
I'm Chris Ross. Hi, I'm the director of Summers. Hello.
Hi, I'm Karen Avalon. I am the writer and I am one of the actors.
I'm Lindsay. I'm one of the producers.
I'm Anne. I'm the DOP.
Congratulations, everyone, on a great short film. Today, in one of our industry series, Karen, one of your producers, was talking about how you got this film off the ground. And it was a great story about, well, why don't you tell it? How did you get this film going?
Well, how I got everyone on board.
Yeah.
Well, I had never written anything before. And I had another writer friend that told me to look at the CFC Producers Lab. And then I just kind of did research on the producers that were coming out of that. And I came across Babe Nation, and I got really excited because their website was amazing. And I looked at all their projects and I was like, this looks perfect. They look fun. And then I think at the time I just Googled how to pitch something. And I was like, yeah, okay, I guess I'll just send a little blurb about myself and write about the film. And then I attached photos because I had been collecting a lot of images as inspiration for myself. And I attached the script, and I was so excited when they got back to me, and I met with them, and it just clicked really quickly. And I had met Chris at a Women on Screen event, and I just clocked Chris as someone that I wanted to work with. And everything kind of fell from there, which was great.
I love when things start like that, a little idea, and next thing you know, you have a movie premiering at a film festival. It's always a good news story because it sounds easy, but right? So what are some of those trials and tribulations that you guys had to go through, whether individually or as a group, to get this thing done?
I mean, it was super easy. There were no problems.
Well,
I'm kidding. What's that?
No, I'm just saying super easy. Any filmmaker knows that's the biggest joke because it never is it?
No. One of the biggest problems that we had was so the script was initially written to take place at a public pool in Toronto, and so that's what we had planned for, and we're scouting, but the time frame that we were in, because we got the money and there was we had to shoot the film by a certain date, and it was the end of the summer when we received the money for the film, and so we had about a month left to actually shoot the thing before it started to get really cold. So we were locked into having to shoot it before, but all the pools closed Labor Day weekend. All the public pools closed Labor Day weekend. So we ended up having to do a complete rewrite to accommodate losing a public pool, and so that's how we ended up doing it in someone's backyard. And fortunately, Chris had a friend who did us a massive favor and lent us their house for the weekend, so we could make it happen.
Wow.
It's a beautiful location.
It is, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But then did you have to change the actual story then? Because to me, the fact that the swimming pool is in somebody's backyard is integral to the characters, because that's very intimate for somebody to come into your pool like that. And to me, that's what really drew me to these characters. I'm like, she didn't run away or call cops or something like that. She engaged with that person. So how different is this version of the film versus your original script, considering you had to change locations like that?
I'll take that one. The characters were the same. We wanted to keep the characters integral to the original idea. But I think the only thing that was changed would be just a little bit of we still want to keep the fear of like anything could happen, or and also like keep a bubble. Yeah, so I think we did a good job at keeping those things in the script still and in the film. Yeah, there's just like little changes, but
Wow. So how challenging was that at somebody's house? I imagine they had to leave the house for the weekend, right? Because you're shooting all night. Is that how that worked?
Yes, we did 2 overnights in a row. But I think Chris, weren't they leaving town anyway?
They were leaving town, but we hired Jonathan, thank you, Jonathan, as one of our PAs, the son of the homeowners. And
Cool.
yeah, and his grandma was in the house and just kept it low key.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were, thank you, Jamil and Andrea, because we wouldn't have a film without you guys. Great friends, thank you.
That's true.
That's so nice hearing when people help out filmmakers, especially when they're not in film business, because it is an intrusive thing. And when people do that, it's just so generous. That's really cool. That's really cool. So then how did you and as DOP, then how do you approach filming at night at with like at a pool setting with all the reflections going on, with neighbors all around you? Like how do you approach that, even just the logistics of it all?
Yeah, it was a little, at first I was like, oh no, we can't control neighbors, we can't ask everybody to turn their lights off, and the backyard is set up in such a way that you can't really put anything up to block. You kind of see everything, and everything kind of goes right to the fence. But we were really lucky. The next door neighbors, I think they had construction going on, so they weren't home. And the other neighbors weren't a problem. I can't remember if trees are blocking or what happened, but we got really lucky there. And then in terms of the pool, I mean, it's a dream to shoot pool scenes. And Chris had created this great kind of mood board before, and we talked about color and keeping it warm, but having this like dreamy kind of turquoisey pool. And our budget was a little tight, so we had to kind of get creative. My gaffer Cheska and I, we put a bunch of LEDs in some waterproof containers, and that's how we were like lighting underwater.
No way. Cool.
Yeah. And one thing that was tricky with the reflections in the water, we had some floating LEDs in the corner of the pool to just kind of help with that consistent turquoise.
Yep.
Sorry.
No, you paused for me, and I don't know for anybody else, but I was like, I really wanted to hear the end of that.
Well, here you go.
Okay.
We stuck some turquoise LEDs in the corner, but it was crazy windy. I think our first night, it was like absurd. It was just insane, and it was relatively like there were trees and fences, but it was just dislodging the little lights that we had, and we just it was just crazy. So it was kind of hard to match. I don't know, Chris, if you want to talk about that.
That's our fantastic editor, Simone Smith, making it all work together so seamlessly. And it was also freezing cold when we were shooting. That was another huge challenge.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I felt so bad for the actors. I was literally in my long johns and parka. And Karen and Judy were in the pool.
It's fun.
I never would have noticed. It's amazing.
It looks warm, right? Acting, it looks warm. Good job.
Especially warm thoughts. Heat wave, not freezing to death. Yeah.
You deserve a Canadian Screen Award just for that, then, because.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being a part of this. This has been an absolute delight having your movie with us. As soon as Ashley and I saw it, we were like, oh yeah, this is easy. This got to be in. And it was so nice to see you back, Chris. We were like, oh, we know Chris is going to be.
Thanks, guys.
What festival is this for you, Chris? Is it
This
Free
is my
year.
second with
Your second.
CFF. And I just want to say a quick thank you to the DGC, who were our main funders for the film through their short film fund.
Oh, cool.
So it was just, the project was such a delight from start to finish. You know, it was a challenge, but it was a super fun one. And we're so proud and happy to be screening at the Canadian Film Fest with you guys. So,
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Anytime. Right, Ashley? They should just go make more movies for us.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So
Next
please
year, so.
just keep doing what you're doing. That was
All right.
That was a lot of fun. Cool. Okay, well then we're gonna bid this amazing cast and crew adieu, but audience out there, please stick around. We're gonna be right back with the Queen of the Morning Calm people. So we'll be right back, and until that time, we'll see you soon. Bye. Hang tight.
Bye.
Thank you.
Hi everybody, we're back. We're back with the Q&A for Queen of the Morning Calm cast and crew. Glad to have you back. Folks, welcome. Welcome to the CFF. Welcome to
Hi, everyone.
Thank you. So great to be here.
We're so happy to have you, Gloria.
Thank you, Ashley.
Can the Queen of the Morning Calm team introduce yourselves for the audience at home?
I'm Gloria Kim. I'm the writer, director, and producer.
I'm Eponine Lee. I'm one of the actors.
Hi, I'm Tina Jung, and I play Deborah.
I'm Dimitri Patton, and I was the cinematographer.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being with us today. It was an absolute pleasure programming your film, because this is the kind of movie that we love programming. It's all story, it's all characters. Script, I'm just talking script wise, it's all story, characters. It's a beautiful movie about amazing characters right at the heart of it, and then you make it look beautiful. And it's obvious how much thought was put into everything to make the look complement the actual story. So that was actually my first question, is Gloria, how do you and Dimitri work to make that happen? Because I love the look of this movie.
Thanks. I mean, I'm so happy with the way it turned out. I mean, Dimitri and we started working actually together probably a couple of years before, and you know, my ex actually worked with him, and he was like, "You got to see this guy's stuff. He's so good. He's got such a great eye." And so I was like, okay, let me try him out, and like, let's just see. And we just ended up really clicking aesthetically. And when we first connected, I told him, you know, like, color is really important to me, warmth is really important to me, lighting is really important to me. And we were really lucky because we had sponsorship from Whites for our gear, and from Panavision for our camera. And we had wanted to create a very specific look. I had a lookbook that I had created that I had shared with Dimitri. And I remember when Dimitri was going in to take a look at the lenses. Well, Dimitri, do you want to tell the story about lenses?
So thanks to Panavision, we had some wonderful support and wonderful selection of glass to choose for. And when I went in to do some tests, and I was looking at a couple of different lenses, and there was one particular set of lenses that was made back in the 70s, the Ultra Speeds that Panavision has, that really do some funky stuff, especially when you hit them directly with light. And we found that the 40 millimeter particularly really gave this like really weird rainbow kind of flare that came in when you hit it just right. And when I first did the test, I was like, hey, this is interesting, but it's a lot. It seems kind of weird. And when I approached Gloria with it, I was like, "Okay, there's this one lens. I'm not really sure about it. We probably won't add it to the list." And she's like, "No, no, no. Let's look at it." And then I showed her the tests, and she was sold on it. And then after that, I think that lens ended up being one of the main portrait lenses for the whole film.
Yeah, we just were in love with that lens.
Wow, that's okay. That actually answers a lot. That I love when two people like sync like that, and it's obvious that they did. And there must be a lot of trust as well, right? Because
Huge.
right, Gloria, you're telling Dimitri you like these kind of palettes, let's say, or colors or whatever, and then Dimitri's got that tech know-how how to make it happen, but you still have to trust each other, right? And I guess that comes from working already together. That's what you guys mentioned. What have you worked on together already?
Oh my gosh. I mean, what have we worked
Well,
on?
it was cool because I mean the stuff that we did. I mean, nothing was as long form as a whole feature film, but we had worked both in short film narrative stuff as well as documentary. So we played around in various genres and different styles of filmmaking, which was great. And so when we came to do this movie, we had that shorthand. We also spent quite a bit of time in pre-pro. Like I was on Gloria's couch that she's sitting on there for for quite some time, and we were just like drawing like overhead diagrams and breaking down the ways that we saw the scenes going down. So by the time we got into it, I mean, with any indie film, I mean you're going to be changing and going through the paces, but we had at least some kind of plan going into it, drawn out.
Yeah, and just also in particularly the lighting that Dimitri chose to use, it was a very specific kind of lighting and the lighting design, because I had said to him, it's an indie project, we got to move fast. I need you to light me 360, and so he got his hands on what were the lights again, Dimitri?
Yeah, so it's a company, Astera pixel tubes, and so they're these like 4-foot tubes, and they're battery powered. You can stick them anywhere, and then they're RGBW, which means you can control the color and whether it's white light or blue light or red light, and so you can stick them everywhere. And those ended up being a big primary source for us because we were able to move really quickly and not have to do generators and run a lot of cable and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and he would just look outside the window and he'd see a certain lighting, and then he would like find these different like contrasting or like matching colors in the Astera tubes, and he put it in like different backgrounds so that you would have one background like looking this way, and then he'd pick up that color on the other background looking the other way. And I mean, it was all deliberate.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And then I love what you said, Byrne, about trust on set. That must have been everywhere on set, because the performances in this film are phenomenal. And I don't think you get performances like that without trust between actors and director. So to the talent, can you speak to your process working with Gloria? But then Gloria, also the second part of that question is what that relationship is like for you and your process working with actors too.
Yeah, I guess
should I go first?
Yeah.
For me, I had trust with Gloria right off the bat because I briefly worked with her on a trailer that we did for I think it was a web series pitch that we were doing called We Got Did. But also previous before that, I was on the set of Kim's Convenience, and she was shadowing for that. So I've known Gloria here and there, and ultimately just when even the audition process, it was more of like a workshop that I did with her. It felt more like a workshop. So with the scenes, we were just collaborating on the ideas, and we were going back and forth of, trying it this way and that way. And then I realized that we were just building on ideas on top of that. So after the audition, once I got the gig, I was just excited to start the process of getting into the character Deborah to play her, because I just knew that we were on the same page. And working with her, she allowed me to, have creative freedom in a way. She made me explore my character more. She was like, hey, go take some pole dancing classes so that you can get into the whole, like the physicality of Deborah. We did that. And ultimately, just every day on set, she just allowed me to be myself and Deborah at the same time. So I wasn't afraid. And even with like the difficult scenes that you've seen, it was a lot of trust. You know, she made sure that I was comfortable first and foremost. And then we would just talk about the scene and then rehearse it and then shoot it right away. So it was more of like having that relationship before that really helped build our trust and relationship as we progressed through the whole shooting.
That's amazing. And then Eponine, is this your first acting gig?
It's our first film.
Film one?
Yeah.
What?
That's
really
incredible.
I honestly didn't even know that. That's incredible. You're so good in this. That's crazy good. I should check credits from now on. I thought you'd done a few like stuff. Wow, that's so. How is that process being involved in a movie that, you know, takes more, you know, it's not just a short, it's a feature, it takes a long time. How did you find it? How hard was it for you to stay in a character like that? And how do you do that?
I don't know. I think Auntie Gloria was really, really welcoming, and she was so sweet and lovely to me, and we got to go through the process of like just, you know, becoming Mona and shaping the character. And I don't know, I usually do a lot of theater, so film was really different for me. It was a lot like, I don't know, I guess smaller but also bigger at the same time than I thought it would be. And I don't know, I really enjoyed it.
Killed it.
You're amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then Gloria, I was watching Jen Pogue and Warren Sonoda's Cooped Up Creatives, and you spoke so beautifully about your process with actors. And I know we've touched on it a little bit. Can you speak to that, the importance of that relationship to you as a director?
I love actors. I love working with actors. I think they're so, I mean, it's just like, they're so precious, you know, they're the ones who are in front of the camera. They're the ones who are feeling everything and doing everything. And for me, it's just really important as much as I can to create a safe space for them and let them be themselves, you know. I think that, you know, when I, like all the work that I've done with actors, you know, I first started working with non-actors and trying to get non-actors to give me performances. And what I realized in that process was that people will give you something real if you don't try to impose something on them, if you don't try to push something on them, if you don't try to tell them, be sad, be happy, whatever. If you just give them the work and then you have them work that out on their own, and you just basically watch them, you're their protector, is how I feel, right? That you're watching out for their best, and to know that they're connecting, you know, and if they're not connecting, you just have to figure out ways to get them outside of that headspace and get more into a gut space, right? And so whatever that is, you know, however, and you have to know who your actors, right? Like you just have to know how people are and what they prefer, you know. Like I remember with Tina, like I would ask her, you know, when do you want to do, you know, your coverage? Do you want it first? Do you want it last? Right? Because every actor is different, and Tina likes time, you know, and this was the thing. So it was like, okay, no problem, we'll shoot you last, you know. You just have to kind of figure that out, and I think it's really important to ask your actors what they need, you know, and collaborate with them, because it really is all filmmaking is collaboration. It really is. Like, I think a director is you know, a facilitator. I mean, you have a vision, and your spirit is imbued within a project, but really it's everyone brings their best, and you just have to basically all play together, really.
Yeah, right. And that's also what it sounds like to me right now. Like, Eponine, you said, you know, it was really nice. You felt very comfortable working with them. And I've heard, you know, it sounds like you had fun, basically, at the end of the day. But I've also heard that you're a meticulous note taker in your scripts. So where did you learn that technique?
Actually, my dad worked with me on a lot of the scenes because I wanted to be, you know, like really focused and in the moment. And he just took the time with me, and I'm just really grateful that he did. And yeah, he just taught me his techniques and stuff, and we tried to build on that. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
Big shout out to your dad. He's a really great teacher. You did spectacularly well. We do have one. A little bit of a cheeky question from the internet. Let's see. Chi Hong Ta from Facebook is asking Eponine, how much fun was it to flood the toilet?
Oh my God. Something I will never forget. I don't know. I didn't get too wet, which is good. And I wasn't in for too long. I was lucky. I got to run out of the stall and stuff. But it was crazy. I would probably never do it again.
I would love to do that. That looked like so much fun.
Right?
It was fun to fill the toilet with toilet paper, but I don't know about flooding it.
Well, is there anybody else that any of you want to do any shout outs or thank yous to before we call it a night here? Because I know lots more people must have been involved here.
I just would love to acknowledge the whole team, the whole creative team. I'd love to acknowledge, the producers, the funders, my editors, as well as the other actors, and the crew. Like, everyone was so amazing. And I would love to just do a little plug, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, great. So we're really excited to share with you guys that the Oakville Festival of Film and Art is going to screen the film on Thursday, June 18th at 7 p.m. And we'd love to sell out the virtual theater. So if everyone could, if you're interested, please buy. It'll be on our Facebook page, our Queen of the Morning Com Facebook page, and our other social. And it would be really amazing. Just tell everybody that this film, it came from my heart. I made this for women. I'm a survivor of violence, and I made it for other survivors of violence, just to share with them and to let them know that they're not alone, and to show them an empowering story. So please spread the word.
Well, we certainly will. When we get the info, we're happy to share that on our social media. And I hope everybody out there that watched and enjoyed this movie would do the same, because the more people who watch it, the better.
Thank you.
Listen, thank you guys for being part of our Q&A tonight and part of our lineup. Absolutely.
Congratulations.
Thanks for organizing this.
Thank you.
Awesome.
You're very welcome, guys. You're very welcome. To everybody else out there, please check out canfilmfest.ca. We've got tons more good movies tomorrow and the next week. We've got some industry series events. We've got a lot of stuff to take advantage of. So sign up to Super Channel if you haven't already, because if you haven't, you're missing out.
And we'll be back tomorrow at 2 o'clock for the shorts program.
Yes, we have some amazing shorts. So until then, thank you very much, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, everyone. Good
Bye.
night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Wendy Potonsky, and I'm the managing partner and owner of Retake Furniture Rentals. Retake is once again a proud supporter of the Canadian Film Festival and is working to contribute to the Canadian film and TV industry by making it an easy and sustainable place to do business. Retake understands the importance of set design and the dynamic nature of the film and TV industry, which is why we created a company to specifically support Canadian filmmakers. Retake provides sustainable short and long-term furniture rental options to meet production schedules and product needs. Our in-house upholstery services can tailor our product to meet your set design requirements and match your color schemes. We use sustainable approaches to minimize product going to landfill when you no longer need the furniture on your set. Retake can also assist you in setting up your office with sustainable alternatives to keep your team working safely as we all head back to work during this unprecedented time. Our goal is to help you create memorable sets. Stay safe, everyone, and enjoy the films and shorts at this year's Canadian Film Festival.